rather than try to replace the storyteller of the human condition with AI. Do it with the executive. Do it with the non-human. They're not in a human thing.
Right.
The fact that, again, I'm not gonna, I could go on.
I feel like you could.
There's certain companies that never sent a representative to the negotiating table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And they have something to do with these things.
Yeah.
And things that are delivered to your home.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not their business.
Yep.
So they didn't send anybody to do business because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so, and they're very, very kind to me and very generous, but I had to fight for it. I had to negotiate for it.
Right.
I had to ask for it.
Yeah.
It should be a given, but I have to fight for those things.
Well, I
So
think you
point being
nailed
is that
it.
I think it's the smartest, most economic way to do this is CEOs do not require human beings.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you
Storytellers
nailed
do.
it when you said that, though, about like the ones that didn't, because I feel like that's when Hollywood got in trouble, is when these big corporate buyouts of the studios started happening, and the people in charge were no longer film guys, people that loved the world.
They're accountants.
They're accountants. They're money
lawyers.
people. It became about the money instead of about the product, about the content,
And
about
they
the
saw
story.
a way in which to go, how can we figure out a way to do it now? But that's just, honestly, that's just American.
Exactly.
This
You're right.
is American capitalist view.
Yeah.
They did. This is no different than being the auto industry.
Yep.
Like, how can we make a machine that puts together that body of a car body without having to have it 5 people with a pension and a health and
Right.
the risks that go along with that.
Yeah.
If we can figure an automated way to do that, and they have, we're replacing human beings with technology that that's going to be part of the thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're right. I think once we've made strange bedfellows with those who this is not their business model,
Exactly.
and they're 80% of their income is derived from computers or phones or delivering, having human beings deliver packages for your company in their own personal cars now. So they're
Right.
not full-time employees paying for their own
Exactly.
gas. It's like Uber. It's like Uber delivery.
Yeah.
But now it's just on a bigger scale.
Yep.
So, way to go! You figured out how to increase your profits and cut costs. And when you're struggling and you can't find a job, and this is and there's the assembly line is there and Christmas is around the corner. I get it. Doesn't necessarily make it right. It is business. It is part of that. But I think you're right. I think once we've made strange bedfellows with the tech industry, they apply the same capitalist view, which is increase profits, cut costs, and pay our shareholders, and then influence policy so we pay as little taxes as possible.
Yep.
Right.
And get the government to subsidize our technologies.
Yep.
Like it's like the medical, so if that's the game and that's afoot, but they're not in the entertainment business.
Exactly.
This is not what their business model is.
Exactly.
And so, the people who were at the table were the ones that had the most to lose. Like we're in the content, we're Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
we're HBO, we're Paramount, we're CBS, NBC, Universal, we're Fox, we're Disney.
Yeah.
Like our money is based on we need people to buy our content. Billions of hours were burned through COVID. We have to replace those things. So it's like we have to feed that animal.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Exactly.
we're not going to survive. So the people who had the most, the vested interest were the ones that really kind of
showed up.
And
Yeah.
the other ones are like, I don't, they'll figure it out. We'll sign. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
that's what they were like. We'll basically sign whatever you agree to.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah, we're good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got some phones to do. I got people in
Yeah.
other countries where we got to put the netting up so they don't kill themselves from working the 17 hours.
Right.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? We got to,
just try to figure
we
it
got to
all
bust
out.
a union in order to kind of just have people in Manhattan. There's people meeting in the Midtown Manhattan with bags and boxes and backpacks on bikes, delivering products for we're busy doing that. We don't have time for this.
That's right.
So I feel like we're at we're at an interesting time, and we weren't the only ones. The auto industry.
Yep.
Before this, UPS. The airline industry is another one that's going to be going through. They're going to play a game.
Yep.
And they should. These people are losing their fucking mind on planes.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
What happened to just keeping it to yourself?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
What happened to I'm going to bite my tongue and not say what I think.
Yeah.
Why don't I just put it in a passive email? Or why don't I just not say that? Why do I feel that other people have given me the license now to freely, so we're at a very interesting, and we're also in a power vacuum. I've been talking about this with my students a lot of we're in a time where it's about power. It's not about love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The commodity love is just this, it's just the thing that interrupts hate.
Yep.
So it's as opposed to people raised in the 60s, the love generation was we're all in this together.
Yeah.
This planet is fucking melting.
Mm-hmm.
And we might have already passed the precipice already, and we're just in fucking denial.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there is this, doomsday spending spree. There is this, YOLO mentality. You only live once, so I can say and do whatever the fuck I want, and it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be here in 100 years from now, and no one's going to remember who the fuck I am anyway. So what's the point?
That's it.
But I do feel like that we have to kind of swing back a little bit, and that's the other thing I loved about Kenny, is that love wins. Love prevails all. Together we win.
That's right.
United, we stand, divided we fall. And there was so much more unification, during these strikes than I've ever seen before in my business.
Agreed.
Even within my own union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the point where, the next president's no, we're going to be co-presidents. We're not, there is no two factions anymore. And
right.
Yeah, because that's always worked to the advantage of the producers when we're divided.
Yeah.
And even now, all this, there's still people trying to, say no to this contract, and I was just like, come on, man. Oh,
Right.
so everything that we did fight for, if it doesn't pass, then we're going to try to go back to those same people that already agreed against. So, you think we're going to get a better deal?
Yeah.
Because actually, if we don't pass this one, everything that we fought for goes away. We're back at square one.
Yep.
That's the truth.
Yep.
And $10 billion worth of film and television started production, pre-production, the minute the strike was over. But there are 20 shows that started on Monday of this week, the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think if we don't sign the contract that the DGA is going to get behind us, that IATSE is, the Teamsters,
Yep.
the Writers Guild?
Yep.
So we don't sign the contract, so everybody who's been starved out for the last year because these corporate greed, we have no choice. This is the deal.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. But every single country, government, corporation, business is dealing with AI. The legalities of it, the human factor of it, the moral issues of it. We're not alone.
Yeah.
So I feel like just the fact that we have something, we didn't have anything before.
That's right.
But if we don't have this, we are done.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So I mean,
Agreed.
it's very interesting to see how people that don't really have a vested interest. Justine Bateman, you haven't been an actress since the 80s. If it was Justin, if it's your brother, you know what I mean, Jason.
Yeah.
He produces and directs and acts, and he has some issues.
Everywhere.
Then I'll listen to him. But I'm not listening to an 80s TV star who's now pissed off about AI and was invited to be part of the AI
Yeah.
and then couldn't commit the time. So I'm like, you weren't there, you didn't do the work, but yet you want to piss in the pot, pee in the punch.
Right.
So I go, I'm done. And then some caster I've never heard before is gathering 17, 18,000 followers. Thank you for doing this. The actor, oh my God, I had no idea. I don't know what I'm reading. And I'm like, why are you doing it? What's in it for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. James,
who are you
always
working for?
always
Who are you
bringing the
working for?
knowledge. He's always bringing the knowledge. That's why
You know
we
what I
love
mean?
having
I
you
kinda
on.
Well, I just feel like, we all just want to tell stories, man. We just want to tell stories and move people's lives and not just influence them on a temporary basis. We want, it was really great being on the red carpet because and it was good. I wasn't kind of a lot of them had like these prepared questions. It was like they all kind of got together and go, okay, let's pick these same buzzword questions. You know?
Right.
Right.
So by 2 or 3, I was like, all right, I'm ready for this one. This is good. But the first one, I was like, oh, favorite Christmas movies, Home Alone.
Yeah.
You know, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
You know, planes, trains, and automobiles, kind of.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like the traveling. You know.
Yep.
Uncle Buck, maybe. You know, like I'm just, you know what I mean? Like I'm scrambling a bit.
Yeah.
But once I got towards the end of the thing, and then I also but I kept going back to like why It's a Wonderful Life works.
Right.
It works because the point of being a human being while you're on this planet is you have no idea how much of an influence you can be on somebody.
Absolutely.
You can change the course of someone's life by something that you said or did.
That's exactly
and most
right.
of the time, the people that are in power are trying to make you feel like you're insignificant and you have no power and you have no control and no influence, and it doesn't matter. And that's why suicides are up and fucking drugs are up. It's like, you know, you're just constantly bombarded with, you know, you're invisible, you're less than if you don't do these things, if you're not, you know, if you don't follow or you don't like or you don't, you know, and I feel like It's a Wonderful Life just cuts through all of that bullshit
Yep.
and goes, every person's life is important.